whether it's death or loss of a job or loss of a relationship, every loss has a teachable moment in it. Everybody is your teacher. There's something in there that'll teach you how to handle it better the next time.
Tulsa Talks is the podcast that is inspiring people to have everyday meaningful conversations to gain perspective and help the world.
Welcome to Tulsa Talks. Jeremy Conway is with us again today, and we're going to discuss how he helps people going through the grieving process of a loss in the family or a friend. Jeremy, thanks for coming again. So you lost your mom and your daughter about 6 years ago in the same year, and you had nobody to come alongside you. And now you help people with that grieving process that you went through alone.
Yeah, there was quite a few people that come pat you on the shoulder. How you doing? Checking on you. How you doing? But you could tell by the conversation, they were just going through the motions. I felt like if I, and sometimes when I did, I'm like, you know what, I got to talk to somebody. And I would actually tell them how I'm doing, start to. Oh, hey, let me call you back. I didn't think this would be a long. I didn't think this would be a long conversation. And
death and grieving is uncomfortable to a lot of people. It takes a certain person to be able to help somebody through that.
It takes a certain person from the outside too. People within your circle, it shouldn't be. It is, but it shouldn't be. It should be. If we're living a Christ-centered life, it should be easy.
How did you tackle that for yourself, and how are you helping other people? How did you become comfortable with helping people in that lane?
When my daughter, she had an asthma attack. She was brain dead when they got her to the hospital. But they kept her there for a day or two, seeing if she'd come out of it. And they said even if she did, she wouldn't be able to function. And the entire time it was, it wasn't real until they told me we're just going to pull the plug. There's just nothing we could do. The rest of that time, I tried to stay positive. I mean, when I had cancer, everybody else is, oh, you're going to die. And I'm like, I'm going to be fine. And then I got through it was 6 months of chemo and stuff. And I got through it. And the last month was just precautionary. I'd beat it in 5 months. So I tried to stay positive. And then when they told me that, I just broke down. And I fell to my knees, and I'm at the end of the bed, and I'm just bawling. And I remember looking up, and my mom was standing in the doorway, and she had started crying, but she had her back to me. So she's standing in the door with her back to me, and she would just look over her shoulder every once in a while. And didn't come up, put her hand on my shoulder or anything. So
yeah, she couldn't handle it. That's what I've already said. A lot of people don't have that strength and don't have that ability to help. I mean, she was crying. She had her back to you, so she didn't have to connect with you intimately, and she was tore up apparently.
Yeah, it was her loss too, but it's really it wasn't the same. But so I'm at Becca's feet, and I'm just bawling, and I get a vision of Jesus on the cross. And so I walk up to him, and I'm looking up at him, and he's crying. And he looks down at me, and he says, it'll be okay. I deal with this 1,000,000 times a day. And I come out of it, and at first, after she died and everything, I talked about it last time, I had a pretty dark path, and he snapped me out of it. And it was tough. And he said, he reminded me she was on loan. I just got to be a temporary father. And that, and this is the thing that I tell a lot of people, because we're selfish by nature. Human beings are. It's in our DNA. So
we are all the center of our own universe and the most important thing to ourselves.
Yeah, but like in this instance, she was taken from me. This is me. And she was on loan, and he reminded me everything that I wanted for her, everything, no sickness, no hurting, everything I could possibly want for her, she's getting right now. And I could never provide that. As hard as I tried, as much as I wanted it, I could never provide what she's getting right now. And that really snapped me out of it. And so I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, and I'm remembering the thing with my mom at the doorway. That was symbolic of the way it was the entire time. She was very selfish by nature, and it was just me. She never once asked me how I was doing the entire time. And then it was shortly after that she got sick, and didn't know who she was half the time. So, that's what I said. Nobody's ever gonna. That was my teachable moment.
Yeah, not on your watch. You're not going to allow people to experience that if you know them. You're not going to allow them to experience that by themselves. I
don't want anybody to deal with it. But in whether it's death or loss of a job or loss of a relationship, every loss has a teachable moment in it. Everybody is your teacher. There's something in there that'll teach you how to handle it better the next time, how to do things differently, how this person acted this way. Is there a way for me to overcome it? Maybe not. So maybe I just don't get pissed off about it, and I just, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do to help you with that. And just some things that if there's no answer, grace is the answer. Just, you know what? I love you, dude. I just love you. I don't care about any of that. So you want to be pissed off at me about that? Go right on ahead. I love you. Sometimes that's the teachable moment.
Yeah. So you help others through their grieving process. And I'm interested in learning how you help those people that you interact with. I'm sure that it's somewhat different every time because every person is unique and their experiences are. But say I come to you and say, hey, Jeremy, and I lost a loved one and I'm having a hard time.
Okay. I start by deciding, do they want to talk about it? Do they want me to sit Shiva and just be in the room and be a presence and pray? We have a little bit of conversation, and I can tell by how open they are. I'll ask a few questions. How did they pass? What was your involvement in it? I mean, how was y'all's relationship? Yada, yada. And based on how open they are in those, I know what they want, or I feel what they want.
So you can meet them where they are?
Yeah, just see if they really just want me to talk, or they don't want to be alone. Sometimes they just want somebody else to be in the room, and again, that selfish nature, just be in the room and see that they're grieving. Some people, that's just all they want is to know if I reached out, I could touch somebody, but I'm not gonna. But it makes them feel better.
So you say some people will reach out to you and then they won't want to talk.
Right. And the Jews have been practicing that for time immemorial. It's called sitting Shiva. They'll come into the room and they'll just sit. And you may talk to them, you may not, but they're there for you. And sometimes they just sit there and pray. Sometimes, it's just talk. It's just, you're just there for the person and letting them know. And you don't, you're just sitting there. And I don't care I'm not bringing my phone in the room. I'm not leaving this room. We're just going to sit here.
So if you're just sitting there, how do you know when it's done?
They let you know. They're like, because when they're done, hey, you want to go get a coffee? Hey, you want to go get something to eat? And then we go do that. And then I see if they open up then. And if they don't, I just talk about something else. Just, hey, I'm still here, brother, but did you catch the Giants game? You know what I mean? And just taking their mind off of it, giving them something else to think about. And then when we go back or, do you want me to come sit with you a little bit longer? And they tell you, oh, no, I think I'm okay. Are you sure? Because I love you and I want to be there for you in every single way. I've dropped my entire life for you, and that's what I'm going to do because I love you. So are you sure? I don't let them off because everybody's going to say, because they, just like people don't want to have to deal with that grief. They love you too, and they don't want you to deal with that grief. So it's not easy. I'm going to get 6 or 7 no's before I walk away. I'm going to let you know that I'm not playing. I'm here. This is me and this is you. And there's nobody else on this planet right now. So, are you sure? Okay. And then if it's a no at that point, then, well, let's pray. Let me pray for you. And I pray for their strength. I pray for, the most important thing about the grief is I can help and just be a shoulder, but the people around them need to be there because they know the situation better than I do. I'm an outsider. I'm just a guy. But these are people, this is family, this is friends that know the ins and outs of the relationship that they just lost. And they're a bigger help. So I pray for their strength to help them. I'm dropping that seed. I pray for my strength to help them if I ever. So I'm telling them I'm still here for you even when I walk out of this room. But I'm not being pushy because they also don't want you to be pushy.
Right, yeah.
You're walking a fine line. So right. I'm just saying it in the prayer. God, just if they do call me again, please give me the answers and give me the strength to be there for them, to know what to say, to know what to do. Speak through me. You know better than all of us what they need right now. And I know that from personal experience. He knew what I needed. And he waited till I asked for it. So the entire time through my grieving process, until I asked for it, until I'm in that hotel in Kansas City, Missouri, jury in, until I'm in that room and I asked for it, he didn't give it to me. So, and to be honest, I don't know that until I asked for it, I was ready for it. So, yeah.
So let me give you another scenario, if you would. A family loses one of the siblings, a mom, dad, and some siblings lose one of their members. How do you know which one to go to?
Whoever comes to me. I will try, all families, I will try to talk to everybody. So if I have one person call, I will at least ask them, is there anybody else in your family you think might want to hear from me? But I don't go seek it out. Some people don't want me, and me trying to invade their space isn't going to be helpful. Yeah. Like when I was going through it, there were certain people in my life, if they had tried to crossed that line.
It wouldn't have been comfortable.
I mean, some of them because of negativity, some of them, I didn't feel it with them.
Yeah.
And I just didn't feel it. And some people, I am an outsider and I don't know what you're dealing with.
Yeah. And maybe they're not at that motel room yet.
Right. So, I make sure that if I speak to the family, hey, if you guys ever do need me, there's going to come a moment when you're going to need somebody. No matter how strong you think you are right now, there is going to come a moment when you need somebody. And if you don't have somebody, call me.
Yeah.
Because I've been in that hotel room. I've been on the floor on my face crying. I've been there. I know exactly what you're feeling. So I don't know different circumstances, but the same basis.
Yeah. After 6 years of the loss of your mom and your daughter, same year, how are you?
Oh, there's still, every week there's at least 2 or 3 nights of tears, crying. I still can't. There's certain songs I can't listen to, or I just break down. Savior by Disciple, the song we played at her funeral. And I can't listen to it without bawling. So yeah, but I mean, other than that,
Sleepless nights?
not so much anymore, but there's been a lot of face in the carpet. I still don't really get it, God. I don't know why you took her. Because, I mean, I'd rather her be here to an extent, but I also get it. She's living a life now that I wish I could live. And as a father that loved his daughter, and as a son who loved his mother, they're living the life that I always wanted for them and I could never provide. I mean, the one positive that I have that helps me get through is I fought with both of them to come to church with me. Fought. And it wasn't until I stopped fighting and I just let me be. And I showed them the difference between who Jeremy was 10 years ago and who he is now. And they came to church with me and both gave their life to Christ. In the same seat, sitting next to me in the same church, listening to the same pastor, Justin Grace from Foundation Church, sitting in the same seat in the front row. They both raised their hand and gave their life to Christ. So I know if they're up there, and I know, even though that's just a commitment and there's still a long walk after that, there was a change in them. I mean, and I could see it. And so that makes me know that they're up there living that life that I want for them.
Yeah. So you just touched on something that's amazing, God's love for us and the ability to receive him into our lives and the transformation that it causes. There's another thing that you touched on just now, not pressing people before they're ready and letting them see just your presence. So when you stopped pressing your family, mom and daughter, to go to church with you and become Christians, they saw you and they walked with you. Same thing that you're helping, the same system, same type of approach that you're helping these people in grief. It sounds like, I'm here for you. I want to do life with you. And if you want to talk, we can. If you don't, that's fine too. I'm here. So you're saying people that make themselves available and are not pushy in one direction or the other might be a good lifestyle to help people?
Yeah, I like to tell people in all situations, not just if losing, but in all situations of loss, it's Christ waits in the rain for you. He waits for you. And you want to come talk to him, come talk to him. You want to come talk to him, come talk to him. But he'll be standing in that same spot in the rain for you. And that's, as Christians is to be Christ-like. That's what I do. I wait. And if you come, you come. And if you don't, you don't. But either way, you will know that I love you.
You ever have people around you? We've talked about grief and helping people through a grief process, and we've talked about loss in other capacities. What about wins? What about victories? What about celebration? Do you have some of that in your life, Jeremy? That you help people celebrate more than without your presence being there?
Do I help them celebrate? I mean, not so much in this realm.
No, I'm talking about switching gears.
Yeah.
We've talked about death and loss and family and people coming to Christ because you were patiently loving them instead of pressuring them. And I would say that would be a great victory of getting them to a place where they received eternal salvation.
Yeah, that's as big a win as it gets.
Yeah. What was that moment like in the celebration side of it? Do you celebrate with different people different ways?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on. I guess there is a source to that. Is if they come out of it and they have that Kansas City hotel moment. I have gotten calls where I'm like, this just happened, and everything you said, he just showed it to me. And I get it. There's a celebration there. That's great, dude. You're there. From here on out, it's still going to suck. You're still going to cry, and you're still going to hurt, and you're still going to miss, and there's still going to be a tiny void, but it's a tiny void. It was a God-sized void. Now it's just a tiny void. So, but like my job, I go store to store, and I help people who the previous management's been failing them, or whatever it may be.
Something was out of kilter and their store wasn't performing up to expectations. People were having a hard time functioning.
All right, and most of the time it's due to poor leadership. And so I come in and I try to change that defeatist attitude towards a positive attitude. And so it's always just a series of tiny wins. Their job was being made more difficult because the place that I work at has a process in place. If you're not following the process, it's more difficult. Yeah. So I put them back on the process, and then it's just a tiny win. See how much easier your job is. So all we had to do was just follow the process, follow the rules.
Maybe they don't know the rules.
They don't. Like in the store I'm at now, they did not know. They didn't know anything. So I'm showing them this is the right way to do it, and they're winning little by little. They're winning, and then there's one kid there that he's mad about this and mad about that, and I break all his barriers down, and then he's starting to do better, and now I'm culturing him to get promoted into a position that nobody had ever talked to him. He's like, nobody's ever even thought about that or asked me about that. You got it there, dude. You just got to get past this bad attitude. When you get past this bad attitude and you see this job isn't that difficult, you just got to do it.
How do you change somebody's attitude?
How
do you help them change their attitude? Because you can't change somebody's attitude, right?
Yeah,
you
can't.
Them?
Well, first, I could do any other job. I do this because I want to help people. I want people to be better people. I want people to be happy. So I think that comes across because I've got nothing to gain. I'm gonna get paid either way. I've got nothing to gain, and I think that comes across as I'm doing this for you. I'm not doing this for me. The place I work at is never going to appreciate what I do. They're never going to show me appreciation for it. They're never going to treat me right about it. They're not going to. I do this for you. I travel and I leave my home 5 to 6 days a week and go to all these cities and all these states for you. And I tell people that I do this for you. I don't do this for me. I could go home and stay home all the time, probably make more money and do a lot easier job. But I do this because I want you to succeed. I want you to be happy. And
how much does it matter that the store that you work for gives you that a boy or more finances?
I have a higher obligation. I don't care. If I did, I would have left years ago. I don't care. And I've let that be very well known that I don't care. I don't care. I recognize that you're not going to appreciate me. I recognize that you're never going to give me kudos or attaboys. And I don't care because I get to look in that guy's face when he realizes his job is easier or in the case of this kid, he's going to get the promotion that he didn't know he wanted until I offered it to him, and now he really wants it. That look in his face, that look in his eyes, that's my reward.
What happens if Jeremy settles and doesn't voice his opinion about how he's being treated and maybe changes to knowing that the company's taking care of him and has an opportunity in his mind and in his heart that they might give you that promotion? Because what you just told that kid, that younger man, is, look, there's an opportunity here. Do you think that God could potentially send somebody in your path when you're ready to get that type of experience for yourself?
Well, of course, God could do that.
That's what I'm talking about. So
company,
how are we limiting God from doing that in your life if you did that in somebody else's life?
it's not a limiting of God. It's a limiting of, again, it goes back to we're selfish by nature. The company I work for likes me where I'm at. I don't want to go into too much detail, but when you work for a company and you know they like you where you're at and they don't want you to move forward, there are ways that a company can make sure that doesn't happen while still keeping you in that position. So, and they're doing that. So I know they don't appreciate it. I've never gotten a phone call. But said, hey, thanks. Hey, attaboy. Hey, great job putting $50,000 back on the P&L. Never got that phone call.
But God can open people's hearts.
He can. He can. So it's not limiting. It's
facing your reality for now.
Right. At this point, I don't see it happening, and I don't care if it happens. If I cared about that, I could, within 2 weeks, go find another job where I get those things.
So why do you stay?
To help people.
Could you not help people somewhere else?
I can. This is where God wants me to go. He wants me to go. I go to these stores and I do this. And in the end, it's inevitable. Why do you do this? Why do you leave your home? Because God wants me here with you right now. I am here right now because God wants you to see that there's a better way. And everything we do, we have to show his face. We have to. And that's how you win people over. You like this, the Christians that go door to door and, hand out. That's not how you win people over. It's every day. This is God. This is God. This happiness, this selflessness, this is what it looks like. We've got to show people that there's a different way, that the world is this, and I try not to be too negative about the world. It's really difficult. But you can look at the world as it's a dark place with little pieces of light inside of it, or it's a light place with some darkness in it. I choose to look at it as it's a primarily light place with some darkness in it. I got to be that light. I got to show that light.
How do you balance that thought with few will be saved, the narrow road, wide is the path to destruction, and narrow is the gate? How do you balance that?
I mean,
I know how I balance it because I'm not the judge.
Right.
But how do you balance that in your
It's
theology?
free will. I mean, again, selfish by nature.
Yeah.
So,
how do we have a light, mainly light with a little darkness, if the Bible says the other?
You change people's perspective of what is prosperity. So there are certain preachers out there that prosperity is you sow a $1,000 seed with me today, and God will sow you a $10,000 seed tomorrow, $10,000 seed tomorrow. That's not prosperity. That's living in this world. And yeah, you might be happier on this world with $10,000 as opposed to $1,000. But
and you might actually get it. Who knows?
Yeah. If you get it, it's not because you sowed a $1,000 seed to Joel Osteen. It is not because you did that. So you got to change people's viewpoint of what the prosperity is. The only thing that I contributed to my salvation is the sin that required the salvation. That's it. That's all I do that's it.
Say that one more time, please.
The only thing that I contributed to my salvation is the sin that needed the salvation.
That's powerful.
So that's the prosperity. I am loved. Even when I was in that hotel room floor and there was nobody around me, I was loved. That's the prosperity. That's the beauty of it all. And when you do that and you do things less and this is what the world is missing, with a me-centered, but I want to help you. And when I help people, like I told you about the guy that called me last night, and was having a problem with his relationship. If you're always, what am I getting? What am I getting? What am I getting? Then you're going to have problems because you're ignoring what they need. If I'm giving you everything that I have and you're giving me everything that you have, we don't have to worry about that. We're giving each other everything that we need. And I know what you need because I love you. So we're doing that. If we're doing that and not concerned about what I'm receiving. Now, at some point, if you're just not receiving, we're not meant to be doormats in any way, shape, or form. But it doesn't end your obligation to give. There's many times.
More blessed to give than to receive.
Right. And
every time I've ever given, I have received. I've received a lesson, an insight, love, opposite of love. Sometimes when I try to give when somebody doesn't want me to give to them, it might be corrective love because I'm stepping over boundaries.
Right. So, if people are less me-centered and more, what can I do for you? It's going to come back. It is.
Yeah. And that's what we at the Complete Peace Movement talk about. Our slogan is, I am one peace, where we propose that people can be healed and whole inside themselves and see life from another perspective to help them understand that those people around them are the piece of the puzzle that they need in their lives too. So Tulsa Talks, Your Voice Matters, the Complete Peace Movement, I am one piece is what we're talking about, right. What we have discussed today. Get over yourself.
Yeah, essentially. If you're giving, then you're going to receive. And even if you don't, you're still going to receive. So
where is your source?
There's never, ever a point where if you're giving, if you're looking at it in the right way and you're not looking at it like, okay, I'm going to give this to you because I want something back. I'm going to give this to you because I love you. Then there's no expectations on the way back. You're going to get it back because that's living a Christian life. That's showing the face of God. You're going to get it back.
Yeah. That is a Christian principle, maybe the Christian principle of dying to self to become alive and have God's love flow through you, like the cross shows us, so that we can be resurrected into something different than we were in the past, where we were being selfish.
And that's when I was talking about my family raising their hand at the church. When you say that prayer, you're not saved. You're making a commitment to be that. You're making a commitment to make a change, to be more Christ-like. Are you going to be completely Christ-like? Obviously not. Nobody is. But you can show a difference. And the reason why we need to show that difference is we need to show a different path from this world, that there is a different way, that we're not, that what this world says is important isn't really all that important.
What is important?
Love. That's what's important. We need to love each other. We need to, if the world was more, let me just love you, let me give, and then let me give, we wouldn't be worried about what we're getting. And the world would be a lot more. I mean, even like, I don't want to get into really politics, but even with like this tariff thing, it's the same thing. You know, we're giving, and then we say, you know what, we want something back finally because you're not giving anything back. And they're like, no, we don't want to give it back. Why would we do that? We're fine right where we are. No, let me give you back. Let me give you back. And then everything is fine because we're giving and receiving, and we're not worried about what we're getting. We're just doing it. We're living.
Yeah. So what you're talking about is, or proposing is, when all parties involved love each other, then it could be almost a euphoric place to live. However, we do live on a broken world.
Yeah, it
but
doesn't make it easy. It's not easy.
It's impossible to be at peace without God giving you peace. So if I try and I struggle to receive peace in my own ability, it's impossible with man, but all things are possible with God.
Yeah, and again, you can't look for it. Like you can't, like I said, when that day in Kansas City, the entire time I'm a big believer. I love the book of Jeremiah because it is just a bunch of Jeremiah. Dang it, God, why? Why? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? And I was saying the same thing. What the heck, God? I mean, I live this life for you. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and you can't take this from me. I just get to sit in this. What is that about? And then it wasn't until I'm face down on the carpet, and I'm just like, I mean, your will be done. I'm done fighting you. I'm done fighting the world. I'm done. I don't expect anything from you to just love me. And that's when it hit me. That's when it hit me. When I stopped expecting things from him and just said, hey, dude, this is where you want me at, and this is what you want me to do. I don't know why. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. I'm all yours. Take it. And that's when he hit me. And that's when it just like a lightning bolt in the back, just all the clarity came. He hit me because then at that point, I really wanted it. I wanted to know the answers. I wanted that healing. And until then, it was going to, even if like...
so there can be a combative, resistant why, and there can be an opening of your soul to receive. Two different stances.
Yeah. So if you're, because even if he would have helped me, and I know this looking back on it, when I was, why aren't you...
Yeah, being combative, trying to control him and the outcome.
There would have been questions in what he was giving. There would have been, well, that's not enough. Well, Why aren't you doing it this way? Well, I don't understand why you would do it that way. Maybe we should do it this way. There's going to be questioning in there because I'm not ready.
Trying to combatively control the creator of all things within ourselves.
Right. So then I'm just like, whatever, dude, take it. Then he knew, okay, now he's ready because he's not going to fight me. I'm not going to get this. I'm not going to get that. I'm not going to get him doubting me because I know better than God, right?
Why waste your breath on someone that's not ready to receive?
Right. So
why would he give you answers that you're not ready to receive?
Right. Because I'm just going to question it. I'm going to doubt it. I'm going to want more. Because I'm not receiving it just as it's meant with love. I'm receiving it as, this is what I need. I don't need you to tell me what I need. This is what I need. And you're going to do it this way. And if you don't do it that way, then I'm just going to question you and make it difficult for you.
Which just made it difficult for yourself.
So when I open myself up to, whatever, dude, take it. Here it is. It's all yours. You do with it what you want. I'm just going to sit here and cry. That's when he knew I was ready because I'm not going to fight it. And
what's the one answer that you received through being ready to receive and accepting God's love into your life instead of trying to control God with your life through this experience?
In that instance, that's when I received everything that I ever wanted from my family. They're getting every single thing. I am not the center of the universe. I'm not the answer.
So you found peace by having peace, right? That God is the supreme being and the complete peace and totality.
Right. And then it was just slowly him working on me on the guilt of losing, the guilt that comes with that loss. Him just slowly working on it. And then again, it's me just giving it to him. Would it have mattered if I'd have done this thing differently? Would it have mattered if I would have called her last week on Friday and said this? Can't tear yourself up. I mean, it's going to happen. Whatever's going to happen, no matter what you do, if somebody's going to make that choice, they're going to make that choice. And you can try like hell, but if they make that choice, it's not your fault. It's just not your fault. God gives us a choice and we make that choice. And if we choose wrong, there's a consequence. My daughter made some wrong choices. And no matter what I did, no matter how I fought, she just kept making those wrong choices. And at some point, God's got to save us from ourselves. And that's what happened with my daughter. So without getting into too much detail.
Yeah, no.
She was, her death was avoidable. She didn't avoid it. So.
It's amazing how our decisions affect the loved ones around us. And a lot of times we don't think about that. And I'm glad that you have been shaped by your life experiences so that you can help people in grief of lost ones, in grief of their store that they're working at, not equipping them for success, and the grief inside yourself that you know that people can be set free, including yourself, through this exercise that God brought you through. Thanks for coming today.
Yep. Anytime, anytime.
We are here to help you discover or develop your passions, how you can use them, and why you exist. How can we help you help others better?